Hey there, it's Laura here from makingcardsisfun.com, and in this video I'll be showing you how to create a masks and watercolor winter scene featuring Winnie and Walter. This video is part of Winnie and Walter's blog hop in honor of World Card Making Day, so let's get started. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing some masking in this video. So first I'm stamping my images onto some masking paper with Archival jet black ink. You can do this with any ink, but since I'll be using this ink later in the video, I just used this one already. I'm using the Happy Owlidays stamp set from Winnie and Walter. Alright, so I have a piece of white cardstock over here and I'm stamping this tree first. So when you're going to do some masking, you have to keep in mind that you have to stamp the image you want to be in front first. So that's why I stamped the biggest tree first, since I want that one to be in front of all the other trees. Then I'm going to mask that tree off with my masking paper, and then I can stamp the two skinnier trees from the same Happy Owlidays stamp set from Winnie and Walter. So after stamping those two trees, I am also going to cover these up with masking paper, since I'll be stamping another row of Christmas trees. So I'm just going to cover these up, and then I can easily stamp other trees behind these. So this masking technique is easy once you get the hang of it. It requires some thinking, so I usually create these masked cards whenever I feel, kind of fresh in the morning, because when I do this at night, I always mess up, since you really have to stay focused and concentrate. So that may sound silly, but it is the truth. So I stamped that tree, and I'm just going to stamp another row behind those trees, and then I'm going to peel off the mask in the center, and I'm going to stamp some more trees actually, because I wanted 5 trees instead of 3, so I had to use those masks for the skinniest trees again, since I'm going to be stamping another tree next to those. So once I finish stamping and masking, it's time to color these images. I am using my Kuretake Zig markers to color my images. So for this brown color, I am using the deep brown marker, and I am using a small pencil aquash brush to blend out that color. Then for the skinniest trees, I am using the light green marker. So I'm adding the color with my marker directly to the paper, and then I'm using a pencil aquash brush to blend that color out. So first I'm just going to blend out that color, and then I'm going to blend from the center. So I'm using a lot of water because I really want to create some shading. So here I'm working from left to right, so I can create a nice gradient between the color I added directly to the paper and the color that I am blending out right now. Then for the other tree, I am using a darker tone of green. This one's called Deep Green, and I'm just adding the color directly to the paper with the marker. And then I am blending out that bit of color with my pencil aquash brush. Then I like to squeeze the brush so it's a little bit more wet, and then I can just easily blend out the rest of that color to create some really nice shading. And you can repeat this step as many times as you would like to. I only repeat this step once, since it's just a really easy and fast coloring technique. Then it's time to create a nice winter and snowy sky on this card. I'm using the Kuretake Zig Gansai Tambi watercolor set. I'm using 3 colors. I'm using number 61, 62, and 63, and I link to all of these in the supply list below. So first I just added a coat of clear water, so just to make sure that my colors will blend out really easily. and then I'm just putting down some of the lightest blue color with a lot of water. So to add some gradient, or just to add some extra interest to this blue, I'm going to add some of the mid-tone color, and then I blend that out with a lot of water and with the lightest color of blue. And then finally I'm adding a tiny little bit of that darkest blue. So I let that dry completely by using my heat tool, but you can also just let it air dry. And then I'm going to create a little bit of a snowy effect. So I'm using the stencil from Winnie and Walter, and I'm using the Tonic Nuvo shimmer paste. This is in the color called Moonstone, and it's just this really gorgeous glittery paste. It's like embossing paste, but it already has glitter in it, so it's just really easy and fast to use. I added quite a thick coat of this product on there since I wanted a lot of dimension and a lot of sparkle. So here you can see that gorgeous snow when I lift up the stencil. Okay, so next it's time to color these adorable penguins from the Happy Owlidays stamp set from Winnie and Walter. I stamped this onto some Canson watercolor paper with Archival jet black ink, since that's a waterproof ink. For the penguins, I'm using this dark gray zig marker, and I'm blending that out with the pencil aquash brush. I'm using this small aquash brush over here. I also like to use the medium tip whenever I color larger images. Like for the trees, I use the medium brush, but then for this really small image, I like to use the small one since it's just a little bit finer. I'm also going to add some shading to the bellies of those penguins using the light gray marker. And I checked some images from penguins, and I noticed that they have this slight shade of yellow on their chest, so I added the lemon yellow marker on there, and then I am blending everything out with a lot of water just to create a really soft look. Then for the hat, I am using the light blue marker, and I am going to blend that out with my pencil aquash brush. Then I'm using lilac for those little pom-poms, and then I'm also going to add some light gray to add a little bit of shading to the biggest pom-pom on the penguin's cap or hat. Then for those earmuffs, I'm using green shadow, and I just really love this color. It's a really lovely shade of mint. And then for the scarf, I'm using English lavender, or no, sorry, I think this is the lilac color. I use lilac for the scarf, as you can see, so it's just a really beautiful shade of purple. And then for the third penguin's hat, I am using the cobalt blue color. So I'm just using a lot of shades of blue and purple and green for today's card. So here's a little trick for you when you want to stamp a curved sentiment. I am using some acetate on top of my image over there, or of my Christmas bubble die, and then you can just easily position your stamp just the way you want. So it's a really easy tip if you want to stamp a curved sentiment. I inked it up with Archival jet black ink, and then I'm going to piece everything together. So I am adhering my little penguins with some foam adhesive, and I used the coordinating dies to cut that image out, and I used the Carly Cutaways die cut set from Winnie and Walter to die cut the Christmas bauble shape. Then finally, I'm adding a little bit more shimmer and shine on this card. I am using the Spectrum Noir clear shimmer glitter pen, and I'm also adding some crystal glaze from Tonic's Nuvo collection, just to add some clear dimension to this project. So that finishes up my card. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to check out my blog post for more details, and be sure to subscribe to this channel to receive regular updates. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.